Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the session on the Buddhist Religious Emblems programs. Your two presenters today are Bobby Tanaka and Reverend Kaz Nakata. Bobby is the chair of the National Buddhist Committee on Scouting and a member of the National Religious Relationships Committee. Over the years, he's been active locally at the unit, district, and council levels, and at the council, he is focused on commissioner service and wood badge. Also during this time, he has been serving the Buddhist Church of Sacramento Board, its Sunday School program, and the Buddhist Churches of America National Board. As committee chair, his main objective is to assist Scouts in the BSA and Girl Scout program to earn the Buddhist Scouting Religious Emblems. And Reverend Kaz Nakata has been the ministerial advisor of the National Buddhist Committee on Scouting for the last 8 years and has taught the Religious Emblems course for multiple troops. So welcome to both of you, and I'll let you take on over.
Okay, everyone, good morning or good afternoon, depending on where the region you are. Anyway, so my name is Kaz Nakata. I'm from Fresno, California, and Bobby Tanaka from Sacramento as well. Then, as you see, as a PowerPoint show prepared by Bobby Tanaka. So today we cover the Buddhist emblems programs. Okay. So as you have just make sure turn off your microphone as the mute as usual. Then whenever you have a question, then we will have a time for the Q&A session and the end of the presentation. So please wait for that. So first I will explain about the Buddhist emblems, what we present. So there is a metta emblem, that's for the Cub Scouts and Webelos. Also the Sangha emblem, that's for the Scouts, and also the venturing. Then the Bodhi Award portion will be explained by the Bobby Tanaka for the adult leader recognition. So first we go as a metta emblem. So for the Cub Scouts and the Webelos and age about 5 to 10, that's also, nowadays we encourage to have the girls. So we also have the combined boys and girls join the Cub Scouts. So we have both sides. Then that's about a 12-hour study. And then also we cover the basics of the Buddhist teachings. Then we also have the online Facebook course available. So if you don't have the Buddhist temple nearby, but still they can take the course. But we also always encourage to find your local Buddhist temple or meditation center to have their instructor to have the basic principle of the Buddhist teachings. Then later on, they will get a medal and a certificate. So basically the beta program is just an introduction for the young boys and girls, I mean the Scouts, Cub Scouts. So I usually start with a short meditation, like, if they have a temple or churches or Buddhist, then we have first start with like a 5 minutes meditation. We just say, simply quiet, be quiet and close your eyes. Sometimes, the younger kids, they don't know how to be patient or how to be quiet. So we just try to start with a short term of the meditation. Then later on, we try like a 10, 15 minutes meditation. So that's a part of the practice side. And also the teaching side, we have the textbook for the Cub Scout Metta program. So we, along with the textbook, we learn the basic principle of the Buddhist teachings. So after, spending like 1-2 months, like a 12-hour study, then the kids can acquire to how to be calm and also, be silent. So that's, I think, the one of the good program we are providing as a metta. Okay. The next, that's a Sangha emblem. So for the scouting and also the venturing that we are providing, then ages is about 11 to 21. And that's kind of an intensive course. So we require the 72 hours of study. So like my case, we spend 36 hours for more like a ritual practice, like how to prepare the altar, like a Buddhist altar, and how to do the chantings, how to do the meditation, how to care like Sunday services and providing message for the Sundays. So like when we have like a Scout Sundays, one of the students from the Sangha emblem students give we call the Dharma talk. That's the Sunday Dharma preach. So that way they can learn how they can speak on the public situation, and also they can explain how or what they learn during the course of their Sangha Award programs. And also, so another 36 hours, we depend on the instructor, but I provide like a coursework. Then I can show you the one with the coursework, what I'm sharing with it. So, okay. Can you see Word? Everyone can see, okay.
Yes.
So this is one of the coursework we use, like a puzzle, what kind of language, you see right now. So there is a 3 language, and the top is a big character, see? Then second is look like a 3 character, right? Then last one is like look like a 5 character. Because the Buddhist teaching is spread to all different countries in Asia, so just only learn about Buddhist teaching in English is not enough. So we try to give a depth of what the original meaning, and also how each region or the Buddhist followers understood the Buddhist teaching. So this character in the top is a Chinese character. So that's we pronounce Buzi or Fo in Chinese. Then second character, the 3 character, that's we pronounce Buddha. But that's not English, that's the Sanskrit. So that's in India or Nepal. Then last one is a Sangay. Sangay. That's a Tibetan language. So 3 characters, they are representing the meaning of Buddha in English. But that's each country has a different mode of the language they use. And also slightly the meaning is different. So this way, each scout can learn how they can understand the meaning of Buddha. Usually the Buddha in English, that's explanation is like an enlightened one, learned one, awakened one. But sometimes we don't know what the awakened one or enlightened one means. So when we show the original character like a Chinese or Sanskrit or Tibetan, they can learn the original meaning. So the top one, you see the Chinese character, then there's a 2 portion. So look like, maybe I can say, there's this character, right? One is this kind of character, and the other one is this kind of character, right? So this portion of the character means human beings. So Buddha is at least human beings. So this way, people can differentiate what the difference between the God and Buddha. So Buddha is essentially that's a human beings. Then the right portion of the character show what kind of characteristic of the person we call Buddha. Then this character is combined with okay. So this character is combined with 2 character. So one is this, the other one is like a 2 bar. Look like this, right? Once you combine this character and this character, then become this character, right? Then can you guess what kind of character we call the enlightened one or Buddha? Have you thought about that? Or first time you're hearing what the Buddha means, then you can just listen. So this Chinese character originally means vines. Vines, okay? Then these 2 lines, that's a post, 2 posts, okay? Then my question is, vines plus 2 posts, then what's one English word? Vines plus 2 posts. When you imagine about the vines, then what you recall, like a tomato or cucumber or grapes that have a vines, right? How they grow itself. Two posts, right? Yeah, character is too big, but anyway. So vines cannot sustain itself because when you grow the cucumber in the backyard, you need a post, right? Because the cucumber is always go up to sky, right? With vines. So this character means without post, vines cannot sustain, which means this character means interdependence. Okay, so that means back to the original. So this character in Chinese means Buddha. Okay, they pronounce Fa or Butsu in Japanese. So basically, the Buddha means human beings. Okay, so not the higher deity or whatever, just the human beings. Then what kind of human beings we name as a Buddha is person who aware the interdependence of life. That's we call Buddha in Chinese tradition. So those kind of things we explain at the middle school or high school level on the Scouts. So they understand this way, more better understanding instead of just say, oh, Buddha means awakened one. Then question is, so what's the awakened one? Then they usually respond me, say, oh yeah, awakened one is a Buddha. Then again, I question to them, so what the Buddha means? Then they say awakened one. So there's not really the depth of what the original meaning of Buddha. So this way, so this is my case, but each instructor has a different way of the explanation, and also in Buddhism there's a multi-denomination, like a Thai Buddhist or Tibetan Buddhist or Chinese Buddhist or Vietnamese Buddhist, or meditation center has a more like a non sectarian Buddhist tradition they have. So each instructor teach a different way, but this is kind of basics of understanding how we can teach original understanding of what the Buddha means. And then also I have all the different explanation to different courseworks. Okay, so this is how I teach. So this way, people can understand, the Scouts can understand the different mode of the language has a different meaning of Buddha. Okay. They also, I provide like a Scout, Sangha Scout trip, which is that we go to all the different temples. I don't know, depend on the state. There's all different kind of Buddhist temples. So in California, every year, usually at the summertime, but this year it canceled because of COVID-19. But every year in the summer break, we take all the Scout students to all the different temples to see the different cultural backgrounds, like going to the Tibetan temple to see how they are conducting the service, how the people understand the Buddhist teachings. And also we go like a Vietnamese temple to see how their structure of the temple is different from our temples. So that's how we provide courses, okay? Is any questions so far? If you have a question, please raise your hand. Or you just self unmute and question. Or you like to have any addition?
I have a question for you.
Yes.
So if a Scout is here, let's say in Rochester, New York, where I am, and their family has been following Buddhist teachings and he's involved in Scouts, how would he get a hold of the emblem material? Is this a downloadable from a site somewhere, or does he need to go through some organization?
I will cover all this in my portion of the presentation.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
I'm Q&A for the more like course contents stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, depend on the each location, they have a different denomination, as I explained. So their way of content is slightly different. But basically, we try to maintain the general Buddhist education, not like a particular one. So that's more like a deeper one. Once they are trying to acquire like a chaplain 8, chaplain 8 level, then we may have more intensive education for particular Buddhist teachings.
Okay.
But yeah. They also,
Thank you.
Then also, as I explained, the Cub Scout Meta Award, we have online courses, so you can just, these scouts just take a courses. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm Don Shapley from Heart of America Council in Kansas City.
Thank you.
And this is an awkward question, but it's one that's posed to me often, and I'd like to have some clarification.
Mm-hmm.
I've had people say to me, well, the Buddhists are not monotheistic, that they do not worship quote unquote God,
Mm-hmm.
and the Scouts require duty to God. So the Buddhists really can't be Scouts. Well, I don't feel that way, but I would like to have a good answer for those people, and
okay.
know that myself.
Yeah. So the other night we had a 12th point of Scout Law discussion. Then I didn't really have no comment for that, because that's basically discussion about how we can be reverent to the God, right? So the Buddhist concept, we have no such things. And often I speak at like a college for the panel discussion as a campus chaplain. Then that's a big question. Then I always explain this way. One time we had a panel discussion at one of the Virginia State University, and the topic was, if God exists, why is there sufferings? Then people who from the representative from the Abrahamic teachings, like a Catholic priest and imam, and so Jewish rabbis, they are saying, because people do not believe God, people in the sufferings. Then also there's a representative from the atheist, that they say, because people believe God, people in the sufferings. Then I was a third rep from the Buddhist society. Then my response was this way. Well, whether people believe God or not believe God, people still in the suffer. So that means Buddhist is not following God or not following non-God system. Okay, so that's a standpoint for the Buddhist. So a lot of people say, oh, if you don't believe God, so that's why you are atheist, right? But Buddhist is not that way, because in like example, like in U.S., who celebrate Christmas is Christian and Buddhist, because Buddhists celebrate any kind of holidays. So we do like egg hunting at the Buddhist temple. Kids enjoying that, because that way we can appreciate how the local people are enjoying their life. So Buddhist is not really like dictating, what we should do or what we should not do, because these kind of things depend on each individual to decide. So in Buddhist, we have multi belief people in there. Like one of the troop I was being there for 7 years is a Buddhist Catholic people. So they go Catholic church, and also they come to the Buddhist temple to listen to the Sunday service and do meditation. Yeah, because outside is no problem. So that's why even we conduct like a quinceañera, that's supposed to be the particular religious recognition for the coming of age. But the Buddhists say, well, since we have no problem as any teachings, because we are not based on the religion, more like a spiritual side, how each individuals to gain or improve their internal peace. That's how we share in the Buddhist teaching. So so the other night when we had the 12th point of Scout Law, then there's a question about one of the requirements have to say yes to the God, believe the God. Then my response was this way. Well, since the requirement needs the yes, say yes to, believe God, then Buddhists is happy to say yes, God. because we have no conflict. Yeah. So that's a standpoint. You know, sometimes it's difficult to understand from people who believer or non-believer because we are kind of in between. So Buddhist is known as like a more like a balanced people. You know, both are good because you know both people are good, right? No matter the contents. You know, people who believe teachings and you know do really you know good deeds and good behavior, moral. That's you know that's respectable. And then on the other hand, someone who completely not believe anything and deny any God system, but they try to live their you know own way of living with the caring of others, then that'd be good too. So we have no reason to deny or not deny whether you know believe in God or not. That's a standpoint.
That's very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. By the way, the Sangha Award was established around 1954 when Buddhist Scouting joined BSA, and then the Metta Award for Cub Scouts was developed in 1972.
Yeah, so we have a long history and a contribution to the Boy Scouts of America from the Buddhist side. But I think you know more and more expanding the Buddhist meditation center or temples in different countries and states. That's why I think more people see with the Buddhist presence. So shall we go over next to the Bodhi Award?
Yes.
Then later on we'll have a general question. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Next, Bodhi Award by Bobby Tanaka.
Thank you, Reverend Kaz. So the Bodhi Award is the Adult Recognition Award for outstanding service to Buddhist scouting programs. And we would like to see a minimum of 5 years of outstanding service. And this award is not something you earn, but it's a recognition award by nomination only. You cannot self-nominate, nor can a spouse nominate you. And then our committee will review and approve the award. So it's a Buddhist Adult Recognition Award. Next slide, please. So how do we earn the Metta Padma Awards, emblems? So here are the steps. The first step is to find a qualified and approved instructor. And I'll get into this in a moment. Next, the Scout completes the Scout Award application, and then they pay the $25 application fee using PayPal, or they could send a check to our committee. And I just lost my picture.
It's still up. We can still see the stuff.
Okay, so I'm gonna, 1 second. I'm using my paper slides. Okay, so the $25 fee is really just to cover the $15 medal and then the postage for that. So after you make the payment, then instruction can begin. And then when instruction is completed for either of the emblems, then the instructor submits a completion form to our committee, and then the committee will send the award medal and certificate to the instructor.
Yeah, so this is completely the volunteer program.
Yes. So, so here's the thing about finding an instructor. Our committee has a list of 210 approved instructors across the United States, and they're spread throughout all the states, but we can always accept new applications. And so we have an instructor application that we review as a committee. And here are the kind of the requirements or guidelines to be an instructor. If you're an ordained Buddhist clergy, then you qualify. And also a layperson who has some experience and is recognized by clergy to be qualified can also be approved as an instructor. So we're constantly receiving instructor applications. Okay, next slide. And this is how you can communicate with us and contact us. Here's the email address, bcascoutinginfo@gmail.com. I check that regularly and respond to everybody. And then we also have a website where many of our documents are listed, bcascoutinginfo.org. So also for today, this PowerPoint presentation and our brochures for our various medals and our various awards, the suggested requirements, all of this documentation is in the Google Drive that you have access to now. And Amanda said it'll remain open for a while. So everything we've talked about here is on the Google Drive.
Yeah, so we as the scouting committee is under working is a Buddhist BCA, which is a Buddhist Church of America that you see in the email address here at the BCA. BCA is a Buddhist Church of America. That's only Buddhist organization recognized by the Department of Defense, the federal level, to endorse the chaplain, the Buddhist chaplain to the military. So we are offshore organization recognized by the government as well too. So I just checked. I just checked the chat. Go over.
Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. We'll get this recording of the session up as quickly as we can so others can find it. We do have another class that's starting up, but do use this information to reach out to them in order to give them, contact them about different things with the Buddhist faith. So thank you to both of you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.